gosh, can y'all see that eye? Can you see how bad I look? Oh my gosh. I was sitting here, I almost got tickled because today is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, a day of reverence, a day to remember, a day to think about what he did to take our country to a path that I think was good, and then nobody picked up the pace and did what he did. Nobody said nonviolence. And then as I was thinking about that, I looked at my eye and thought, speaking of nonviolence, this is not from violence. This is from a fall, and it was a hard fall. And we're going to share a whole lot of stuff today that is positive and upbeat and encouraging. And today's program is in honor and in a tribute to my friend Joe Kelly McCutcheon, who used to tell me that Ellijay is the encouragement capital of the world. And so I said, today I'm going to take Joe's advice. Number one, I lived through a fall that I honestly thought would kill me. And when I after I hit, and I was dazed, and I was like, what is going on? And then I looked and saw the blood, didn't know where the blood was coming from, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's 28 degrees outside. I don't know if I can get up. I don't know what's going to happen. And then, as only a mama would do, my mind went back to my child's death. And I thought, oh my gosh, if I die, I will be buried the day my daughter was buried. So my mind did all kinds of crazy things. And I kept thinking, okay, God, are you trying to teach me something? Are you trying to tell me something? What are you trying to do to me? Why did you let this happen? Last year was like a miracle year for me. I came through so much stuff, and I was encouraged, and I was enlightened, and I was thinking things are going to get positive. And I swear, here you go, laying on the porch, bleeding like a stuck hog and thinking, what is up next? It was crazy. It was so crazy. But when it was all said and done, Northside Hospital emergency room for a while, come home, and I'm going to show y'all a picture in just a little bit. Everybody kept saying, I said, that's my favorite nightgown. I've had that nightgown forever, and it's covered in blood. Well, I'll tell you what. Cold water and Tide 12 hours after the event got all the blood out of my gown. So I was so excited. But it was just a silly, crazy, in a hurry. It was cold outside. I went out to crank my car and warm up and defrost my windshield, and I swear it was cold, and I was trying to get in the house in a hurry, and blam, blam, and boy did I blam. And today I look really good compared to, I couldn't come in last week because the top of my nose was all screwed up. It was just a mess. But it's getting better. It's getting better. And thinking of getting better, today I want to encourage y'all. I want to encourage you to get your yearly checkup. This is a picture. You won't be able to see the close-ups, but we're going to scan this and have it later for each and every one of you. If you have ever thought, I don't need to go to a dermatologist, I don't think I've got skin cancer, I don't think I've got this, I'm going to encourage you to make an appointment with a dermatologist, the dermatologist of your choice, but make an appointment with a dermatologist the first of the year, every single year. Get a body scan, get a checkup. I've had so much skin cancer, and 2 of them were the bad kind, and that's when my arm got in trouble. And I'm going to encourage you, pick up the phone today and call your doctor. If you haven't ever had a checkup, mine was in a place on my arm where my mom actually had cancer, which was really weird because it was on the same arm. Had nothing to do with her, and the more I thought about it, I honestly believe that it may have started from some chemicals I used when I used to refinish furniture a long, long time ago, because that spot's been there a long time. And I kept watching it, and I'd ask about it several different times, but I want to encourage you to look around your body and say, is that different? Is it looking different? Is it changing? And that's what they always say. If something is changing, then you know you are in trouble. So I'm going to encourage you, pick up the phone, call a dermatologist, say, hey, I haven't been in several years because I haven't had any problems, but get a checkup. How important is it? It's really, really important, because had they not found mine, yeah, probably been a whole lot worse than it was, and it was pretty dang bad to begin with. So, but, okay, y'all know that last week I had a dreaded birthday, and we celebrated it because we celebrated the fact that I was alive. I was thinking about this when all the craziness happens in my life. We really do have a date and a time already stamped on us, and we don't know it. You know, well, if you read the Bible, you know it. And our day and our number is going to happen when God says it's going to happen. And so when we get all psyched out about, oh, I'm going to die today because it's the day my daughter died, oh, I'm going to do this, probably not, because God has a special plan. Sometimes we don't like that plan. Sometimes we have to live with something that really is crazy and hurts and worries you. And I want to ask some prayers today for a family that is facing something that hurts and worries, but they are keeping their faith. The DeLuca family has been dealing with Nicholas having cancer for many, many years. I can remember my first motorhome. We were uptown at a car show, and Nicholas was a little boy, and he was in our motorhome, and Ray said he's been throwing up all night. Well, that was the first indication that the child was sick, but nobody knew that he had a tumor. This kid is so handsome, so cute, so smart, so witty, and from an amazing, amazing family, and they are not giving up hope. So I want to encourage you to put Nicholas DeLuca on your prayer list. Please pray for this young man. He is amazing. They did some scans and some tests a week or so ago, and it wasn't good. And we know that there is a date and a time and a stamp on all of us. We know that's the truth, and we know if we read the Bible that that's what it says. So we can't change the outcome, but we can help, and we can be there, and we can be supportive. And so if you ever ate at R&M Hoagie Shop down in Canton, you know the DeLuca family, you know how amazing they are. The first time I met Ray, his mom worked for Judge Miriam Pope, and I met her at the courthouse in like the late 60s, 70s. It was crazy. It was just a long time ago, and I always loved them. So please today, I want to encourage you to get out your list of who you pray for and put Nicholas DeLuca on your prayer list. He is an amazing, amazing young man. He has made it through so many hospital stays, so many operations, so much stuff going on, and he still is absolutely amazing. I'm going to get a picture, and we'll put that up in the next couple of days. He's amazing, and positive and upbeat, and he's an encourager. So that's what we need. We need to encourage each other. So to Joe Kelly McCutcheon, thank you for telling me years and years ago that we need to encourage each other. Now we're going to share some photos of the birthday party. We had just a little tiny birthday party of just close friends with the flu and COVID going around. We were pretty cautious about what we did, and we were trying to incorporate just a little light brunch and some cake. The whole thing was circled around this cake because for many, many years I've had a very, very, very special cake on my mind, and every year, once a year, I like to have that cake, but only once a year because it's probably got 10 million calories in it. There you see it. It is white chocolate raspberry from Alpine Bakery, and my bestie drove in the blinding rain to go down and get it and ordered it and did the planning, and I'm like, thank you so very, very much, because that cake, it's light. You could sit down and eat that whole cake, and other than the fact that your sugar would be 92,000, you wouldn't get full because it's so light. That's the problem with it. You can eat more than one piece because it's so good. But again, that came from Alpine Bakery down in Woodstock. Well, it's between Holly Springs and Woodstock. Made shrimp and grits. Everybody brought a little something. We just had a good light meal and fun. Now this is me as we're getting ready for the meal. And that big pot you see there was full of shrimp and grits. And when it was over, it was empty of shrimp and grits. So We had a really, really good time, and just a few people who came, close neighbors. Everybody lives actually within walking distance nearly, but we just said we have to celebrate because I was feeling, even though I looked pretty bad Saturday, I was feeling pretty blessed because it could have been a whole lot worse. It could have been much, much, much worse, but it was really cool to be able to visit, spend time, laugh, giggle, and everybody got to see Xana, and of course Xana was the star of the show, so we had a really, really good time. And now we're going to show you some pictures of Xana, and I'm going to let you see what she did because this child had on socks when she got there. And once she realized that she could entertain a group of old people by just sliding on the floor in her socks, then it tickled her, and she had to do it more and more and more. And then her mama took her socks off, and she couldn't slide anymore because she was slipping and she fell a couple of times. So, but we had a really, really good time, just sharing some laughter, some love, some food, and encouraging each other. And that's what this year has to be about. So Joe Kelly McCutcheon, today we honor you, and we are going to be encouraging others because no matter what you're facing, if you've gotten that bad diagnosis, if you've lost a loved one, if you maybe you're changing jobs when you didn't want to change jobs, then, you know, sometimes things happen and you're like, why did that happen to me? I was looking at these pictures of my arm and I thought, why did that happen to me? Well, it's really been there a long time and wasn't taken care of, and it got worse and worse and worse, and then we got in trouble. So, but encourage each other. Now, there's our baby. And there is, thank you to Karen and to Clark, and oh my gosh, got Miss Vicky's eyes closed. And Miss Xana was just the star of the show. Everybody was like, okay, we got to see Xana. Now this is when she fell. See, oh my gosh, but it didn't hurt her. It didn't hurt her. But that was so funny. She thought it was so amusing. So she wanted to do it over and over and over again. And finally her mama took her socks off. And then she couldn't fall. And she wasn't sure why she wasn't sliding and falling. She was like confused, like, well, why can't I have fun anymore? I can't bust my tail. So, but she had so much fun. And what a joy, what a joy, what a joy. What a joy. And there's that cake again, y'all. I'm telling you, that is the world's best cake. It's just light. It's not filling. It's just so light. You could eat that whole cake. Now there's our healthy eater. Miss Xana is fruits and vegetables. That child loves fruits and vegetables. She loves English peas. She loves corn. She loves carrots. She loves all the good stuff. So maybe she's not ours. Maybe they gave us the wrong baby, because she eats so healthy, and just a bundle of joy, and what a blessing to everybody. What a blessing, blessing, blessing. Now there's the gown after tied. I was so shocked, y'all, because I thought, I love this gown, and it's, you know how you get this old gown that you've had forever, and you don't want to throw it away, and you love it, and you get it out, and you wash it again, and you think, oh, I need to get me a new gown. No, I don't need a new gown, because tied in cold water got all the blood out of it. Absolutely blew my mind. I could not believe it. I was so excited. And that was tied in cold water 12 hours after the event. And thank you. I think somebody put it on my Facebook page to try that, or I would never have known to do it. And I just did. But thank you again to Clark and to Karen, and we had a really good time, and thank you for being dear, dear, dear folks, and to a couple of people I really, really love over in Kingston, Georgia. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It was a good weekend. It was a good weekend. I hope that you did something that was fun, and I hope that if something bad happened to you, that you will take it as a life's lesson, and you will use it to encourage somebody else to get through something pretty bad, because we've all faced something pretty bad. We've all had some heartache, and you know, when we look back at what happened to Martin Luther King, to Bobby Kennedy, to John Kennedy, we were in a nation that was loaded with violence, we thought. Look at today's world, the violence and the hard things and the terrible things that are happening, the war that we're in over in Israel and the things that are happening. So today I want to encourage each of you to pray for our nation and pray for our world. We're going to take you to a little clip. This is about 9 minutes honoring and thinking about the life of Martin Luther King Jr. Had he lived, would things be differently? Because he was a force to be reckoned with, and people were listening to him and watching him. And I don't think anybody stood up to take his place. I don't think anybody has been the encourager that he was. So we're going to go to that video, and then I'll be back with you shortly.
We want to do a tune written for today, for this hour.
I'm sick and tired of violence. I'm tired of the war in Vietnam. I'm tired of war and conflict in the world. I'm tired of shooting. I'm tired of hate. I'm tired of selfishness. I'm tired of evil. I'm not going to use violence, no matter who says it.
We had yesterday to learn it, and so we'll see.
We have the right to protest for rights. We will do it in an orderly fashion. This is a non-violent protest. We are depending on moral and spiritual forces, using the method of passive resistance.
Preaching love and freedom for his fellow man. He was dreaming of the day peace would come to earth to stay.
And the Negro citizens of Montgomery are urged to return to the buses tomorrow morning on a non-segregated basis.
He'd plead, love thy neighbor was his creed. Pain, humiliation, death.
Now, we've had an ugly mob outside.
He did not dread.
They have injured some of the federal marshals. They burned some automobiles. But we are not
from his
giving in for what we are standing for.
It's hard to think of this great man.
But I submit to you tonight, no man is free if he fears death. But the minute
the murder
you conquer the fear of death
never
at that moment,
cease.
you are free. For the vast majority of white Americans, I can see nothing more urgent for America to work passionately and unrelentingly to get rid of the disease of racism. I would seek to give you a blueprint for freedom in Birmingham tonight. I would say first that at this moment,
is it too late?
We must decide that we will no longer spend our money in businesses that discriminate against Negroes.
And did Martin Luther King just die?
I will not rest until we are able to make this kind of witness in this city so that the power structure downtown will have to say, we can't stop this movement, and the only way to deal with it is to give these people what we owe them and what their God-given rights and their constitutional rights demand.
Always living with the threat of death ahead. Folks, you'd better stop and think, 'cause we're headed for the brink. What will happen now that he is dead? He was for
All we say to
equality
America is be true to what you said on paper.
for all people, you and me, full of love and goodwill, hate was not his way.
Dilapidated, rat-infested shacks and slums.
He was
We
not
are
a
tired of our children
violent man.
having to attend overcrowded, inferior
Bigotry
schools.
filled his
And we are tired of our men not being
We can all
able to
shed
be
tears,
men
but it
because
won't
they
change
can't
a
find work.
thing. Teach your people, will they ever learn? Must you always kill with burn and burn with guns and kill with guns and burn? Don't you know how we got to react? Don't you know what it will bring? But he had seen the mountaintop, and he knew he could not stop. Always living with the threat of death ahead. Folks, you'd better stop and think. Everybody knows we're on the brink. What will happen now that the king is dead?
Somewhere I read that the greatness of America is the right to protest for rights.
Mountaintop, and he knew he could not stop. Always living with the threat of death ahead. Folks, you'd better stop and think and feel again, for we're headed for the brink. What's gonna happen now in all of our cities? My people are rising. They're living in lies, even if they have to die. Even if they have to die at the moment that they know what life is. Yeah. Even at that one moment that you know what life is. If you have to die, it's alright, 'cause you know what life is. You know what freedom is for one moment of your life. What's gonna happen now that the King of Love is dead?
We are all caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of death. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. For some strange reason, I can never be what I ought to be until you are what you ought to be. The rich man can never be what he ought to be until the poor man is what he ought to be. John Donne caught it years ago and placed it in graphic terms. No man is an island entire of itself. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main. And then he goes on toward the end to say, any man's death diminishes me because I am involved in mankind. Therefore never sin to know for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for thee.
Wow. Trace found that on the internet. I have always wanted to see shots of that exact scene. I was standing right beside Jacqueline Kennedy. I was standing right there as Bobby Kennedy was coming off the bus. Glenda and I left work. We asked permission from our bosses to go to Martin Luther King's funeral. It was very, very important to me to be there. It was a part of American history, and it was a part of America that I loved because we dressed up on Sunday, and everybody dressed up and went to church. You didn't go to church in a pair of blue jeans. It's a totally different world today. We dressed up when we traveled. Now you put on the sloppiest, crappiest looking stuff you can put on, and you jump on a plane and you look like you've been somewhere in the bed for a week. It's a totally different world. We lost respect for ourselves when we quit sitting down at the dinner table together, when we quit spending time teaching our children, when we got so busy, so involved in our own lives that we drop the kids on the side. I mean, there's so many things happening, and everybody says one of the things that Martin Luther King always preached was about a fatherless family. Dads, step up to the plate. Even if you're not in the home, step up to the plate. Moms, step up to the plate. Put those children first. Teach those children. And I can say today, I mean, when I listen to Dr. Bernice King, who is their daughter, she's so much like her mom, and I just listen, and I encourage everybody to find somebody to respect and to look up to. There's nobody like Dr. King today. There's nobody in society. There's nobody in politics. There's nobody who wants to do nonviolence. Everybody wants to rob, take anything you want, go into stores and you know, bust the glass out, steal what you can, run. You think you're entitled. That is not the world that Dr. King wanted us to live in. He preached nonviolence. He believed in nonviolence. Today, he would come back to America and he would lock up half of the people because they are not living the life that he preached about. And so I'm so glad Trace found that. I always said if I could find enough still shots, because Glenda and I were both right there as Jackie Kennedy and Bobby Kennedy walked past us right at the steps of Ebenezer, and that was U.S. history. That was amazing. It was amazing. So thank you, Trace, for finding that. And I don't know who filmed it, who did it, but I'd never seen it before, and yay, wow, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool to know that I was standing right there. So we're going to go to a commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to hope to encourage you a little bit more.
Whether you're in the mood for chicken strips, a delicious burger, our classic banana split, or an upside-down thick blizzard treat, we've got you covered. Hot and fresh food every day, every time. And delicious DQ soft serve make the perfect pair at your favorite place. Not fast food, fan food fast. Your Blue Ridge, Ellijay, and Jasper Dairy Queens are your meet, eat, and treat headquarters.
Thank you for choosing DQ. How may I serve you?
The mountains are calling, and they're closer than you think. Farmers Crossing in Ball Ground offers creekside lots with homes beginning in the 400s. Walking distance to downtown shopping, dining, tennis courts, Calvin Farmer Park, and local events. It also includes a beautiful hike to Long Swamp Creek. Leave the car and the worries behind. Move in by fall 2023. Call Cherie Martin at 404-375-0590 or Evelyn Calhoun at 770-733-0779.
Georgia Medical Treatment Center now has 2 locations to bring you the high-quality holistic care you've come to know and expect. We treat neck, back, and joint pain with chiropractic care and injection-based treatment without the need for surgery or prescription painkillers. Our medical weight loss program can also provide relief while ridding your body of toxins, pounds, and inches while improving your overall health. Call today for a free consultation, 770-345-2000, or go online to georgiamtc.com.
You know, how you feel on the inside is just as important to me as how you feel on the outside.
Oh, Daddy.
I'm grown up, in every way, care and take care of you. You're my grown up, and I know you're there.
I'm grown up, and you know I care.
'Cause it's you and me and me and you.
So when you are okay or not okay, I'll take care of you.
sister. Don't you think it's time to go where black bears climb and waters flow? Hummingbirds out on the deck, your feet propped up and what the heck?
Whether you're swimming in the sea or splashing in the pool, making a masterpiece, or just making memories, writing a great American novel, or writing your term paper that's due tomorrow. Whatever you do in life, Farmers is here to protect it. For all your insurance needs, call Donald Curtis in Blue Ridge.
Looking back at life and how people were dressed and how it was just such a different world. Maybe we need to look back a little bit. Well, we're going to look back to one of my favorite videos, and my girls have always loved this thing, and I love it too. But as I was laying on the porch the other day, and I was having some really weird thoughts, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, is this going to kill me? What's going to happen? I don't know. I had survived a year that I thought would kill me. Then I survived another half of a year that I thought would kill me. And I swear, then there I lay laying on the porch, and I got to thinking about my favorite song. Now, this is not an appropriate song for a funeral, but my girls, if they were in charge of my funeral, would probably play this song. If you've ever trusted anybody, if you've ever thought that you knew who you were dealing with, wrong, wrong, wrong. You never know who to trust. You never know, is that the real deal or is that a scam? What's going on? I just don't know. Well, we're going to share my favorite forever all-time country video. And as I was laying on the porch, the name of the video is Mama's Broken Heart. But I was thinking Mama's Busted Head. And I was thinking I need to get Dwight to write a song, because he was dying laughing. It wasn't funny until after it was over and we knew I was going to be okay, because I wasn't sure I was going to be okay. By the time I got to the hospital, I had this big, huge knot here, this over here, and I looked rough. And I was thinking about Mama's busted head, but I kept laughing because I thought, if I had died, my daughter Dawn would probably have said, now Mama loved that video by Miranda Lambert, so why don't we play it at her funeral? And she'd have probably done it. I want to share my favorite song. If you grew up in a time that we dressed up, we wore pearls, our hair was completely done, our dinner table was set, everything was good in life, and then something crazy happened in your life, and then it all falls apart. And you're like, okay, Lord, why are you doing this to me? Well, I'm doing it to encourage you to get stronger and to be better. And so, here we go. My favorite all time, even over Loretta Lynn. And everybody knows I love Loretta Lynn. This is my favorite country. And it is a video that speaks volumes for us women who grew up in the 60s. Here we go. Yep, that reminds me of my girls. I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do drugs, and when I fall apart, I just fall apart. And when I was laying there on that porch, I was thinking, he's got to write a song, Mama's Busted Head, because Mama's head was busted. Every single day, we're going to face something crazy. Every single day, we're going to get through something crazy. And every single day, we just have to stay encouraged that the better days are coming. And the better days are coming. Now, speaking of days coming, if you get out in the next couple of days, I've got 2 quilts in my car. I've got a couple of bottles of water in my car. And I need to put some little snack bags in my car because the weather coming in is going to be absolutely crazy. We don't like cold weather. And I said, somebody was talking about, oh, I'd rather have it cold than hot. No, I know how to turn the air conditioner down. I'd rather have it 70. This weather that's coming in is going to be brutal. So today is our last day. Get your pipes taken care of. Get your groceries bought. Get the things you need just in case. Make sure you've got propane tank, propane tank's got to be checked out. Because you might think you've got 25%, you've got 5%. So you better check it out and pick up the phone and call the gas company. You better check out, do I have enough water if the pipes freeze to get through? Do I have groceries? If we lose electricity, do you have a cooler that you can put some ice in and you can take care of your stuff? We don't know what's going to happen, but we know it's going to be cold. It's going to be so cold if your power goes off, you won't need electricity because you can sit stuff out on the back porch and it'll freeze in about 3 minutes probably. So we are looking at some weather like Georgia hasn't seen in a long time. We don't like seeing this kind of weather. We live here because you get 4 seasons. And usually our winter is a little bitty winter. This winter it seems like it's been wet and cold and wet and cold and wet and cold. And now it's going to be super, super cold. So get out today. Today will truly be your last day with good temperatures, a good opportunity to take care of the things you need to. And we laugh about Georgia and how we all run to the store and we get a loaf of bread and a gallon of milk and whatever else we need. But the truth is, you better prepare for this one because this is going to be a rough one. From Fannin County, Gilmer County, it's supposed to be a couple of inches of snow tomorrow. We don't know if that's really going to happen because we know that our weatherman doesn't know if it's going to happen, but we think it's going to happen, so you better be prepared. Stay off the roads unless it's an emergency, unless you have to go to the hospital, unless something crazy happens. Stay at the house. Drink you some coffee, fix you some pancakes, and just sit there and enjoy the time at home. Just enjoy. Put on some music. Watch Miranda Lambert. That video, my girls used to drive me crazy playing it because they're like, Mama, this is you. This is so you. I said, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs. They said, yeah, but you could be driven to it. No, I wasn't driven to it. But today, prepare, get ready. Well, we're going to prepare you for feeling good because Tracy's got some music, original music by Mr. Ellijay. He's coming back soon. He has written 3 more songs. I don't know what's wrong with this man, but he just keeps dragging songs out of the air and he just keeps on producing them, Every time he calls, he's written another song. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? I don't know if he thinks he's going to die and he's trying to get them all recorded before he leaves this earth, but he is working hard, and I mean hard, to get this stuff done. And it blows my mind because most of them have been sad. And I said, get some happy stuff going on. So maybe he will. Maybe now that I've busted my head, he will write a funny song about Mama's busted head. So we'll see. But here we go to some music by Mr. Ellijay.
The bank says it's foreclosing and the pickup needs repair. The LP tank's on 0 and my wheel is almost there. The hope I had left with you when you walked out the door, I would say things can't get worse, but I've been wrong before. The postman brought a letter. He said he needs my signature. He don't know you had to go, and the way you left me here. I told him I don't love you, oh, but the Lord knows I still do. And he knows just what I feel inside and the things I'm going through. My brother said there's a bottle that'll make this go away. I could drink until it's over, or until my dying day. I could do all this until left a message on my phone. I called in to talk to him to see what's going on. They're laying off across the plant, employees by the score. I would say things can't get worse, but I've been wrong before. And I could turn to the bottle and make this go away. I could drink until it's over, or until my dying day. I could do these things and tell myself I don't care anymore. And I could hope it don't get worse again, but I've been wrong before. The country's going straight to hell on a highway paved with hope. And if we keep playing round with this, we'll hang by our own rope. I'll bet they're singing in heaven tonight, 'cause Jesus just called to find one home. I gave my mom a temporary farewell today. I held her hand and watched her fade away. Out among the angels to heaven's peaceful shore, to be with our sweet Jesus and live forevermore. Mommy went the way she always wanted to go, from here to there in just a moment's glow. She didn't have to suffer, she just drifted off to sleep into the arms of Jesus, forevermore to keep. And I'll bet they're singing in heaven tonight. They're gathered in join hand in hand. I know the angels are filled with delight, 'cause they've got my little mommy in the band. If there's someone with trouble singing sweet harmony, she'll help them on the part just the way she used to me. And if someone needs a friend just to sit and talk with them, She'll answer every call, even if it's 3 a.m. Yes, I'll bet they're singing in heaven tonight. They're gathered in on heaven's shining shore. I know the angels are filled with delight, and Mom won't be alone anymore. I'll bet they're singing in heaven tonight, 'cause Jesus just called to find one home. Yeah, Jesus sure called to find one home.
Today is a day of encouragement. I want to encourage you to put January the 21st on your calendar. And if you have absolutely nothing to do that day and you're not tied by a steel rope to your own church this coming Sunday, please come and visit Ball Ground First Baptist, because we have a visiting preacher coming from way out in Louisiana. And let me tell you, he is Ball Ground born and bred. Justin Haynes is going to be preaching. He comes once or twice a year. We're lucky enough to have him then. The first time I heard this young man preach, he was preaching his grandmother's funeral, and I will never forget it. And I was like blown away at this kid and how, you talk about loving the Lord. Oh yeah, he does. He does. He is amazing. He is an awesome preacher, and if you haven't heard him preach, I have one of his sermons from Ball Ground First Baptist posted on my YouTube, and you can go to that and watch the whole sermon. Justin is a wonderful young man raised by two of the best, and he and Brittany are out in Louisiana in a very, very rough area where they decided as missionaries they would go there and build a church and save souls, and that's what they do. And they have adopted a couple of kids while they were out there. They already had several of their own. You talk about a special, special young man. So don't forget, this coming Sunday, January the 21st, please try to make plans to visit Ball Ground First Baptist Church, and you will get to hear Justin Haynes preach. He is Ball Ground born and bred. He is supported by our local churches as he does the missionary work that he's doing out in Louisiana. He chose one of the roughest places in the nation to build a church, and I guess that makes sense. It doesn't make sense if you build a church somewhere that they don't need it, I guess, and I guess he did a good job of doing that. Also, I want to remind you the 27th of January at 7 p.m. in Ball Ground at the Community Center, we're going to have a fundraiser for our friend Karen Jordan, who is raising money for Georgia Mountain Hospice. We want her to be the queen of the Mardi Gras. We want her to be the queen of Mardi Gras in the mountains, and the only way we can do it is raise a whole lot of money for her, because you get money and you get points, and that's how you get votes. So please come out January the 27th. There will be hot peach cobbler. There will be chicken and dumplings. There will be some really good desserts from some of the folks at church. You're going to have some stuff to spend your money on, and we're going to let you write a check to Georgia Mountain Hospice if you will come. If you can spend $1, if you can spend $5, if you can spend $500, we're going to be happy to take that money and put it toward Karen's vote. She is our local girl who has been, she's been with the city 38 years, y'all. Think about that. That's a long, long time. That's a long time. She is our city clerk. She does an amazing job. She's a good, good person. So we want to encourage you. Again, Daily Bread is going to do the concert. It will be a love offering. So if you don't have any money, come anyway and come and spend time enjoying some great gospel music. And again, it's at the Community Center right next door to the Senior Citizen Center, right behind the tennis courts in downtown Ball Ground. And if you haven't been to downtown Ball Ground lately, well, there's no excuse for that. Get out and go, but don't go tomorrow and the next day because it's going to be super, super cold. Stay in, stay warm, take care of yourselves, and today, pick up the phone and make a phone call to encourage somebody. If you know somebody who's gotten a terrible diagnosis, call and encourage them. If you know somebody who's just lost a loved one, call and encourage them. If you know somebody who is thinking, what am I going to do in this year because the economy is changing, going to the grocery store is changing, everything is changing, and there's nothing we can do about it. Today I was looking at gas prices coming up the road, and they were up like 28 cents. And I'm like, come on, guys, give us a break. Give us a break. There's nothing we can do except go to the polls and vote and get rid of the people who have put us in the shape we're in. So get yourself ready, get yourself prepared because the elections are going to be very, very soon. So, you know, I have lots of favorite songs that I really, really love. So I have lots of favorites. But this song, when he wrote this song, I was just kind of like, oh, that kind of sounds like a life I love. There's something about the mountain life. If you're here visiting because it's a holiday and you're not working today and you get to hear this amazing song, it is truly, the mountain life is the best life ever. If you are lucky enough to live in a cabin out in the mountains and you see the bear and you see the deer, or if you happen to live in one of the developments that has big yards and the deer and the bear play in your backyard, then you are lucky enough. So we're going to share. This is Dwight Sanford's, it's the last original he has produced, but I can tell you he's producing more because right now he's got 3 more in the works. I don't know that I'm going to like him as much as this one because I really, really like this one, and I hope you will too.
Misty mountain, rainbow sky, a faraway look in your eye. Tell me, have you had enough? Traffic jams and city stuff. Don't you think it's time to go where black bears climb and waters flow? Hummingbirds out on the deck, propped up, and what the heck? You'll love how we live here in these mountains. Everything is gonna be alright, and we all wave hello here in these mountains. Good, we sleep well at night. It's all right, the mountain life. Trip to Ellijay and see the bright red Georgia clay from Notley down to Carter's Lake. All the memories to make, so much here for all to see, a land that is so dear to me. Welcome home to all your dreams, hot rod fords and mountain streams. Now you love how we live here in these mountains. Everything it's alright. The mountain life. Y'all come by and see us anytime you can.